Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here tonight. And finally, next month, I'm going to fight here in Japan. And I hope that everybody will going to watch the fight.
Boxing icon Manny Pacquiao has announced his comeback fight in Japan. The event will take place in Saitama, Japan, on July 28th. During Sunday's Rizin 47 event in Tokyo, the company unveiled an upcoming matchup. This bout, featuring special standing bout rules, will be fought at a weight of 150 pounds and will consist of 3 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes.
And thank you for to Rizin, Saki Barasan. Thank you very much. And to all the fans, please come and watch this July 28th fight. It's going to be a good fight and a lot of action. Thanks.
Pacquiao has been retired since his 2021 loss to Yordenis Ugas, but he has stayed active in the boxing scene through exhibition matches in collaboration with the Japanese promotion Rizin. In an unusual twist, the duo will face off in a mere 3 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes, making it one of the briefest formats ever witnessed in boxing history. During the recent Rizin 47 event in Tokyo, the duo took to the ring to announce their upcoming match. The duo confronted each other, striking poses for photographs, creating a thrilling scene that electrified the fans present at the event. Pacquiao will be facing off against Rizin featherweight champion Chihiro Suzuki in a 3-round boxing exhibition.
パッキャオからはボクシングの怖さをというようなことがありましたから、これボクシングマッチになるかとは思われますが、明日
Suzuki boasts an MMA record of 13 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest, but he remains unbeaten in his last 9 matches, securing 8 of those as victories. The Japanese athlete will initially face off against Takanori Gomi in a boxing match on June 23rd as a precursor to taking on the legendary challenge. Pacquiao, who stepped away from competitive boxing in 2021, is naturally expected to be the dominant favorite. Considering the age of the former 8-division world champion, the fight is unlikely to be scored and will not be recorded on official records. Though he has since begun full training and is aiming for a complete comeback, that was his last excursion. Having set aside his political aspirations, Pacquiao has redirected his attention to the art of boxing, with his sights set on a potential world championship opportunity in the welterweight division at 147 pounds. Here is another look at the face-off between the two fighters.
リスペクトを持って1ラウンドで KO します。よろしくお願いします。
I will do my best, this guy, to say what boxing is. I will let him know that boxing is harder than the MMA fight.
Chihiro Suzuki, born in the Mitaki district of Tokyo on May 14, 1999, had a unique upbringing amidst the vibrant cityscape. As a Hafu, born to a parent of Peruvian, Spanish, and Russian heritage, Chihiro experienced a childhood distinct from his peers. Battling frequent bullying due to his mixed heritage, he swiftly learned the art of self-defense. Guided by his father, he embarked on a journey into karate, mastering its techniques to navigate the challenges of his youth. However, as he entered high school, Chihiro felt a calling to explore a different avenue of combat sports. Transitioning to MMA, he embraced the rigorous training and discipline required, marking the beginning of his path as a mixed martial artist. In no time, Chihiro Suzuki fixed his gaze on a career in professional MMA. His unwavering commitment bore fruit in 2016 when he clinched the Rizin FF Amateur MMA Cup Flyweight Division Championship. This remarkable triumph flung wide open the doors for his much-awaited professional debut in Pancras just a scant few months later, in February 2017. Suzuki wasted not a moment in making his mark in the professional arena. His initial 2 bouts were dazzling exhibitions of his prowess, culminating in breathtaking knockout or technical knockout victories. Remarkably, his second professional triumph set a new record, achieved in an astonishingly swift 8 seconds. This early triumph solidified his stature as a burgeoning luminary in the MMA domain. At the age of 25, Suzuki is currently making waves in both kickboxing, representing Knockout and Rizin Fighting Federation. Notably, not only is Suzuki the reigning Rizin featherweight champion, but he also holds the impressive 9th position among the world's top super featherweight kickboxers, according to Beyond Kick. But there is one more fight update from Pacquiao. Per an exclusive report by Mike Coppinger of ESPN, discussions have been underway between Pac-Man and Mario Barrios, the reigning WBC interim welterweight champion, for a potential showdown scheduled for this autumn. Coppinger tweeted, "A Manny Pacquiao-Mario Barrios WBC welterweight title fight is being explored for this fall in Las Vegas. MP Promotions Gibbons' president Sean Gibbons told ESPN. They even had a conversation with Barrios, who appeared incredibly eager to go off against one of the greatest of his generation. Suggesting he has been looking up to Pacquiao forever, Barrios added, to share the ring with him would be an honor and a dream come true. Well, it seems like the Rizin bout might not mark the final chapter after all. Fans could be in for another round of Pac-Man in the boxing ring. According to the most recent information regarding Pacquiao's next opponent, the remainder of 2024 appears to be filled with exciting bouts for the storied 8-division champion. Coppinger tweeted, Rizin Fighting Federation announced today that Pacquiao will face its featherweight champion, Chihiro Suzuki, in a boxing exhibition on July 28 in Saitama, Japan. It will be contested at 150 pounds over 3 3-minute rounds as Pacquiao looks to stay sharp ahead of what he hopes will be a title shot versus Barrios later this year. Although the Filipino fighter put down his gloves in 2021, he now appears prepared to take Mario Barrios on in the ring. Pacquiao, renowned as a multi-weight world champion and boxing icon, is determined to clinch yet another title before bidding farewell to the sport for good. Pacquiao told ESPN, I made history at 40 beating Keith Thurman, and I feel at 45 I have a lot left in the game, as I haven't taken a lot of punishment over the last few years. I want to go out making history. Sean Gibbons, president of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, revealed that the esteemed southpaw is keen on challenging Barrios for the WBC welterweight championship. Speaking to Sky Sports, Gibbons revealed, Manny is looking at that option to fight Mario Barrios. He loves the idea of finishing his career by winning the WBC title. That was his first belt way back. So over the next 2 weeks, we are going to try to make the fight. Many boxing enthusiasts adore the legendary Pac-Man, yet there's a lingering concern among some that his comeback to the ring might be too belated given his retired status. Furthermore, admirers have cautioned that putting on his gloves at 45 years old might be a mistake. With a record of 62-8-2, Pacquiao would be up against a formidable opponent in Barrios, who has a 29-2-0 record. The 29-year-old fighter from Texas is notable for his victory over Yordenis Ugas, the guy who ended Manny Pacquiao's career. Barrios, however, has praised the notion. He added, I'm very excited at the possibility of this fight being made. Manny Pacquiao is a future Hall of Famer, a legend, and someone I looked up to. Growing up, considering his absence from the ring, devoid of any recent blows, he gains a renewed outlook when confronting a new adversary. On the flip side, hailing from San Antonio, Texas, Mario El Azteca Barrios appears to have shifted the momentum following his defeat to Keith Thurman in 2022. However, beyond the enthusiasm of the boxers, many fans appeared to harbor doubts about Manny Pacquiao's comeback as he aged. Many fans envision Pacquiao effortlessly overcoming the interim WBC welterweight champion, but they're holding on to memories of his glory days. However, the truth paints a different picture. In the eyes of this observer, in the eyes of even a moderately fit Pacquiao would prove more than a match for Barrios. The fan said, Barrios is a young buck in the form of his life. Manny is 45 way past his prime or semi-prime. Those saying Manny wins easily are thinking of old Manny. He's not that guy today. Of course, any decent version of decent Manny cooks him. But it's now 2024, guys. As exhibitions and YouTube brawls gain more of the spotlight, it's evident that matchups akin to Pac-Man Barrios are becoming a common sight, as pointed out by the next user. The fan said, this is what happens when exhibitions and YouTube fights get promoted heavily. This fan's all-time favorite. Manny Pacquiao wouldn't want him to step into the ring for a bout like that. The fan added, Manny is my all-time favorite. I don't want to see this. At this point in his career, this user recommended that Pacquiao may pursue exhibition fights. A matchup with Conor McGregor might be very appealing. The user expressed, Manny should just do gimmick fights at this point. Wouldn't a Pacquiao-McGregor fight be huge? The following user, who is a major Pac-Man fan, thinks the legendary boxer can overcome Mario Barrios. He won't be able to duplicate the achievement, though, against Jaron Boots Ennis. The fan said, he might actually beat Barrios, but he ain't beating Boots at his advanced age, but I still got love for the Pac-Man. Pacquiao's contemplation of stepping back into the ring seems quite comprehensible. In the current landscape of boxing, we witness aging legends, well into their 50s and far removed from their prime, summoning the vigor to spar with opponents, decades their junior. Yet conveying the rationale behind this to a fervent aficionado proves to be a challenging task. Meanwhile, as per earlier reports, Marvin Somodio, a seasoned confidant and mentor to the Filipino sensation, held a keen stake in the reigning WBA champion, Imantas Stanionis. As reported by WBN ahead of others, Stanionis emerged as one of the prime candidates to face Pacquiao. When questioned about Pacquiao's desire to vie for another title and potentially break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion in history by 5 years, Somodio revealed exclusively to World Boxing News, I didn't know about it, but if Sean Gibbons said that, then he's working on it. It's a very good opportunity for either Stanionis or Barrios, if that's going to happen. If Pacquiao versus Stanionis is going to happen, it will be a good problem. Pacquiao's potential matchup against either Stanionis or Barrios, promises to be an epic spectacle, with Las Vegas likely to host the event, either in late summer or early fall. It would mark a fitting finale for the 8-weight world title holder, given the abrupt conclusion of his previous bout. Somodio added, "I want Stanionis to have the biggest fight of his career, as he is my first world champion, and he is very close to me." On the other hand, Manny Pacquiao is the reason why I made it to the US. He gave me the opportunity of a lifetime, so if that fight is going to happen, I'm not going to be involved. On the other hand, Conor Benn asserted that he's prepared to face Manny Pacquiao en route to a world championship, declaring his readiness to tackle any challenge that comes his way. Benn said, "That's what I was there for, really," he said, "of a whirlwind, 72 hours in Saudi Arabia. I knew Pacquiao was going to be there. Right now, that's looking like the one that we're focusing on." Benn has expressed his desire to be a contender for the title, openly challenging the top names in the welterweight division. Following his victory over Peter Dobson in Las Vegas earlier this year, he found himself being called out by numerous fighters. However, a bout with Pacquiao appears likely for May or June in Saudi Arabia, and Benn is enthusiastic about facing the future Hall of Famer. Benn said, "Yeah, obviously. When we did the face-off, it's like looking into a legend's eyes. It was sort of surreal." Benn is eager to take on the top contenders in the welterweight division, yet there's a commercial allure in matching his name with fighters outside the elite circles, such as Kell Brook, Eubank Jr., and even the 45-year-old Pacquiao. At 27 years old and boasting an undefeated record of 23-0, how does Benn respond to the calls for him to face the premier competitors at 147 pounds? He said, "I say to that, Pacquiao wants to fight me. He's mentioned my name, his manager Sean Gibbons, but also it's not like I haven't chased the 147s. How many times have I got to mention the 147 names?" Benn further mentioned that there are videos circulating where people claim they don't want the fight because he isn't a big enough name or isn't ranked. He referred to Derek Bosey, Ennis's statements, and questioned what more was expected of him. Benn explained that they had called for Mario Barrios, Yordenis Ugas, and Keith Thurman. He expressed that if a legend wanted to share the ring with him, it would be his honor. Benn added, "But also, he's old until he's not old. People will always have something to say. People had something to say when I went up to 160 for Eubank. People always have something to say. He fought Ugas 2 years ago, but I'm not going to turn down the offer to fight a legend if the offer is out to me. It would make no sense." Meanwhile, it was reported last month that Manny Pacquiao had set a clear deadline for a possible match against UFC's notable star, Conor McGregor. He has expressed a strong interest in making a comeback, with McGregor emerging as a significant contender for his return to the ring. The Filipino legend, known for his foray into exhibition matches, had ignited speculation about a possible showdown with McGregor, who had earlier set his sights on fighting Pacquiao before the end of 2024. With McGregor slated to face Michael Chandler on June 29th at UFC 303, the buzz around a potential crossover fight between these two combat sports giants has been growing. Sean Gibbons, promoter for Manny Pacquiao, highlighted the pressing need to finalize a date for the eagerly awaited fight. In an interview with Boxing Scene, he noted, "Manny has roughly 9 months remaining before he runs for office again, so he's keen on securing a fight soon." This statement comes amid issues with a planned bout against British boxer Conor Benn and an exhibition match with Floyd Mayweather. The British Boxing Board of Control successfully appealed the decision to lift Benn's temporary suspension, putting the fight's feasibility in jeopardy. Gibbons lamented the setback, stating, "We got bad luck." Unfortunately, losing the appeal cost the fight. Nearly 2 years ago, Benn encountered a significant hurdle when he tested positive for PEDs twice before a planned match with Chris Eubank Jr. Despite expectations for Benn's comeback to the UK boxing circuit following a ruling by the National Anti-Doping Panel, the UK Anti-Doping Agency and the British Boxing Board of Control contested the decision through an appeal. Both appeals were upheld, extending Benn's absence from the ring and creating further uncertainty about his future in boxing. Gibbons said, that fight was more or less in place to happen, and unfortunately, he lost the appeal. We got bad luck. You saw the hype, the build-up. Everybody was excited. All sides wanted to do it." When asked if Manny Pacquiao would ever step back into the ring, Gibbons replied that the legendary Filipino was accepting offers. Gibbons said it was always really a great dream for him and Conor McGregor, but Conor's got so much UFC business or whatever. Furthermore, Gibbons won't completely rule out a Pacquiao-Benn matchup. He added, "Conor-Benn, they said he comes off suspension in September. There's still an opportunity to do that. I always thought Kell Brook would have been fun. Exhibitions. Conor-Benn was the ideal fight because it would have been competitive." Earlier this year, Conor McGregor poked fun at Manny Pacquiao after he shockingly announced a rematch with Floyd Mayweather will take place soon. The renowned 8-time boxing world champion graced an MMA event as a distinguished guest at the Saitama Super Arena in Japan on the eve of New Year's. Nobuyuki Sakakibara, the CEO of Ryzen who orchestrated the event, extended a special invitation to Manny Pacquiao, inviting him into the ring. Together, they made an electrifying announcement. A bout with Mayweather had been formally confirmed. In his opening remarks, remarks, Pacquiao hinted at a big fight, but he refrained from naming his opponent until Sakakibara prodded him to do so. Pacquiao expressed his hope that next year there would be a big fight in Japan against Floyd Mayweather. He mentioned thinking that this statement wasn't expected but shared his excitement for the possibility.
Thank you so much for inviting me here again. I'm sorry for the last time that we promised that we're going to fight. I'm going to fight this year, but like Sakakibara-san explained, and this next year, I hope to see you here in Japan again with a big fight against
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah. Yeah, I thought that you don't want me to say that.
The significant revelation barely stirred a ripple among the audience, while viewers at home were taken aback by the sudden unveiling of a major conflict. Mayweather has yet to confirm whether he'll step into the ring once more with the Filipino boxing icon, following his victory over him in their record-breaking bout 9 years ago. McGregor couldn't contain his laughter at Pacquiao's shoddy marketing efforts. In an ironic remark and sobbing laughing emoji, Notorious ridiculed Pacquiao in a video that he posted to his Instagram story. McGregor wrote, "A lesson in how not to make an announcement." The ex-double title holder of the UFC gave Pacquiao a lesson by posting a video where he announced the fight date and weight against Michael Chandler, demonstrating the ropes. Shortly after McGregor hinted at potential negotiations with the boxing legend, both men swiftly secured alternative opponents, diverging from their anticipated rematch slated for 2021. But he fell short against Dustin Poirier, throwing any $100 million battle to the wind. It seems that McGregor will keep wagging his social media feud with Pacquiao until their last confrontation. But could Dana White be intentionally stalling Conor McGregor's much anticipated comeback? McGregor finds himself in a vexing situation, relentlessly striving to return to the UFC, only to face ambiguity from the organization's top brass regarding a concrete return date. Meanwhile, amidst McGregor's struggle, boxing luminary Manny Pacquiao has emerged from retirement with a bold demand: the opportunity to face McGregor in his comeback fight. Conor McGregor has been persistent in his pursuit of a return to the octagon, repeatedly urging for a comeback date. He's even gone as far as challenging Dana White directly, expressing his readiness to face Michael Chandler in the spotlight of UFC 300. Yet, there's been little progress on this front from the UFC CEO, leaving McGregor's career and even Chandler's in limbo. However, it appears White may have different strategies in mind for the two fighters. Adding to the intrigue, Manny Pacquiao has thrown his hat into the ring, proposing a boxing match against McGregor. Former UFC fighter and friend of Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, asserted that McGregor was preparing to take on Pac-Man, but White would not allow it to happen. Schaub mentioned that McGregor has 1 or 2 fights left on his contract, emphasizing that the UFC never allows a megastar like Conor to fight out their contract. He noted that Manny Pacquiao is coming out of retirement, and his top opponent choice is Conor McGregor. Schaub suggested that Conor seems to think he just needs to fight Chandler before fighting Manny, but the UFC is opposed to this plan. He went on to say that McGregor intends to challenge Jake Paul and Nate Diaz following his venture with Chandler. Guessing the former dual champion's thought process, Schaub suggested that McGregor wants to fight Chandler, then Manny Pacquiao, probably Jake Paul, and maybe Nate Diaz in boxing. He emphasized that this is what McGregor wants to do. However, White wants to keep McGregor till he completes his negotiations with ESPN. Schaub mentioned that the UFC is firmly against letting McGregor go, citing the ongoing negotiations with ESPN over their broadcasting rights as a significant factor in their decision.
I was going to announce UFC 300 main event and co-main event today, but he didn't do any of that. He announced that McGregor Chandler's not happening. It's not happening in June. This is what my skeptical hippo eyes think. McGregor has 1 or 2 fights left on his contract. The UFC never lets you fight your contract out, especially if you're a megastar like Conor. Manny Pacquiao's coming out of retirement. His number 1 opponent he wants to fight is McGregor. I think Conor's like, yeah, I just need to fight Chandler, and then I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao. And the UFC's like, no, you're not. You only have 1 or 2 fights left. We need to figure out a new deal with you. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to fight Chandler. I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao, probably Jake Paul, and maybe Nate Diaz in boxing. That's what I want to do. The UFC's going, no way. We can't let you go. Because remember, too, the UFC's also in negotiations because their rights are up at ESPN. So that's going on. I'm sure Conor brings a lot to the table for the negotiation rights to TV, whether it's Netflix or wherever they're going to end up. So they can't let him leave, so they're just prolonging it. I think it would be a flex on Dana's part, too, to do it, because remember, he wouldn't let Francis do it. What do you think sells more, Francis Fury, which didn't do great, or Conor Manny Pacquiao? So I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes we're not privy to.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.